Good morning to everyone. First, I would like to express my complete gratitude to the organizing committee of this webinar for inviting me as a speaker today. I will be presenting the measures to create a hydrogen hub in Spain and how we are implementing them. And to provide a comprehensive understanding, I will begin with a short overview of the broader European context where Spain plays and will continue playing a significant role in the near future. Over the past few years, hydrogen has emerged as a crucial component in the energy policies worldwide. The International Energy Agency recognized the significance of renewable hydrogen in achieving a net zero scenario by 2050. Similarly, at the European level, hydrogen assumes a pivotal role in the European Green Deal and the REPowerEU plan. The European Union acknowledged that the widespread adoption of renewable hydrogen, green ammonia, and other related products will expedite the decarbonization of our energy system, while significantly, of course, decreasing the EU's reliance on fossil fuels imports. Nevertheless, to fully actualize the potential of the renewable hydrogen sector, it is crucial to establish robust regulations that provide clear foundations to ensure integrity and consistency in the utilization of this energy vector. This regulatory framework should encompass various aspects along the entire value chain of renewable hydrogen, starting from its production, which is currently regarded as an industrial activity, to its logistics, distribution through storage facilities or infrastructures, and ultimately its utilization as either a raw material or an energy resource. In light of these developments, significant modifications to existing regulations and the introduction of new regulatory frameworks are underway at the European level under the Fit for 55 initiative. For instance, in February of this year, the Commission adopted two delegated acts mandated by the Renewable Energy Directive. This act proposed rules to precisely define renewable hydrogen in the EU. More recently, in March, the Council approved the general approach for revising the regulatory framework governing the hydrogen and natural gas sector, the directive and the regulation. Now we expect to close under the Spanish presidency of the EU Council the trilogue negotiations. During the same months, the Commission unveiled the initial plans for the European Hydrogen Bank alongside the proposal for the Net Zero Industry Act. And 2 weeks ago, we have seen the new call of the Innovation Fund with more than 4 billion allocated to clean technology projects. We all may acknowledge that renewable hydrogen stands at the core of the current European energy and industry policies, and it has been playing a leading role during the Spanish presidency of the EU Council. To kickstart the 6-month presidency period, we hosted an event in Madrid, Spain, bringing together representatives from the EU member states and the European Commission. The primary objective of this gathering was to engage in discussions regarding the current state and the future prospect of renewable hydrogen value chains. The event aimed to lay down the groundwork for upcoming milestones in the hydrogen roadmap in our country. In addition to the carbon negotiations and the gas package, we must highlight the agreement reached by the Council at the end of October to reform the electricity market, a major step forward to boost renewables in Europe and, of course, in Spain. Last but not least, the European Commission is moving forward the definition of the next projects of common European interest, which, of course, will include projects to ensure that the creation of a hydrogen market in Europe will be a reality in 2030. Now, turning to the national context of Spain, renewable hydrogen holds immense importance in decarbonizing our economy and achieving climate targets. It serves as a viable solution for hard-to-abate sectors such as heavy-duty transport and high-temperature industrial processes. Spain, of course, is well positioned to capitalize on the potential arising from a new economy centered around renewable hydrogen. We possess abundant renewable resources, and we have established a robust value chain that is prepared to lead the development of this energy vector. Our proactive approach began with the implementation of measures across various domains. First and foremost, we took strategic actions by approving our renewable hydrogen roadmap in 2020, While the European hydrogen roadmap aimed to achieve 40 gigawatts of electrolysis by 2030, Spain's roadmap set a target of 4 gigawatt installed electricity capacity by the same year, representing 10% of the EU objective. With nearly 500,000 tons of fossil hydrogen being consumed annually in Spain, there are significant potential for rapid and direct decarbonization in our country. In fact, based on the project pipeline within our country, we anticipate surpassing our initial estimate of 25% renewable hydrogen consumption by 2030. However, after the revision of our National Integrated Energy and Climate Plan this summer, to cope with the repowering ambitions, we have envisioned a more interesting future. We just increased our hydrogen target in order to reach 11 gigawatts of electricity capacity in 2030, which is only a proof of the potential of the Spanish renewable energy sector and the commitment of the government to continue in this decarbonization line. Additionally, the Renewable Hydrogen Roadmap outlines various other targets for 2030, including the development of a fleet of 200 hydrogen fuel cell buses, 150 hydrogen fueling stations, and the establishment of 2 commercial train lines powered by hydrogen, among other objectives. Furthermore, regulatory measures have been approved recently to expedite the hydrogen development. Some of these measures will include the elimination of some of the tariffs to access the electricity grids. We have regulated the figure of isolated renewable gas grids in order to promote the construction of these infrastructures close to the production sites. And the entry, of course, into force in March of a system to guarantee the origin of the renewable gas, which includes a registry for facilities engaged in the production of gases from renewable sources. This registry encompasses all renewable gases, including renewable hydrogen, of course. Under this system, each warranty of origin will represent 1 megawatt-hour of renewable gas produced and will be issued in favor of the gas producer. In addition to the planning and regulation, Spain is actively supporting the development of hydrogen through the utilization of the Next Generation funds. In December 2021, the government approved the so-called PERTE, Strategic Project for Economic Recovery and Transformation, dedicated to renewables, storage, and renewable hydrogen. Under this PERTE, a total of 6 calls for aid associated with renewable hydrogen have been launched, amounting to 720 million euros. These calls have been garnered significant interest and positive reception from the industry. 2 of these calls specifically targeted singular pioneer projects. The objective was to provide support for the implementation of integrated hydrogen production, distribution, and consumption projects within the same geographical location. The demand for aid in this category was 5 times higher than the allocated budget for the calls. The remaining 4 calls were focused on boosting the entire value chain of hydrogen. Their purpose was to foster technical knowledge and productive capacity by encouraging advancements in various aspects of the hydrogen value chain. In this case, the requested aid surpassed the budget of the call by a factor of 2. During this spring, 4 out of the 6 call proposals were already resolved. Notably, the projects awarded through these calls will contribute to the installation of approximately 500 megawatts of electrolysis capacity across different regions of the country. Furthermore, as part of the PERTE initiative, a dedicated line has been established to support significant projects of common European interest. Spain has demonstrated its leadership and active involvement in the first 2 waves of the important project of common European interest, IPCEI, for hydrogen, namely high to take and high to use. In the first wave of the hydrogen IPCEI, the European Commission selected a total of 41 projects and Spain contributed with 4 projects to this selection. Similarly, in the second wave of the hydrogen IPCEI, Spain's participation remained strong, with 7 projects out of the 35 projects chosen by the European Commission. The second wave projects collectively account for a significant electrolysis capacity of 1.2 gigawatts. Moreover, Spain is actively participating in the Hy2Move wave, which was pre-notified to the European Commission in September. This participation signifies Spain's ongoing engagement in the development of hydrogen technologies and their integration into various sectors. Spain's strong presence in these IPCEI waves highlights the country's prominent role in the European hydrogen landscape and reinforces its commitment to driving forward the energy transition and the widespread adoption of renewable hydrogen technologies. These were only the first hydrogen call within the party, but we will have more coming in the near future. We are currently working on the rest of the instruments. For instance, Spain has identified some areas in our country where hydrogen ecosystems could be established and developed, benefiting from economies of scale to bring down renewable hydrogen costs. Therefore, we are working on a new funding instrument aimed at the promotion of hydrogen valleys or clusters. In order to support these initiatives, we will allocate additional funds coming from the addendum of the recovery plan. More recently, in order to continue taking firm steps towards the development of renewable hydrogen, we have created the Renewable Hydrogen Advisory Group to gather the sector's opinion and suggestions. This group will serve as a forum for discussion among the stakeholders involved in the renewable hydrogen sector, with the participation of the General State Administration, and will aim to identify, coordinate and prioritize actions that facilitate the adaptation of strategies and regulations to the role of renewable hydrogen in the new energy context. And finally, as most of you may know, Spain has a strong commitment to support the creation of a hydrogen market. And in this sense, the selection and publication of the next PCI list by the European Commission will be fundamental. Projects such as H2Med, envisaging a route to take hydrogen being produced in the Iberian Peninsula to North Europe, is only the first step to reach different objectives: the decarbonization of our industry, energy independence to ensure security of supply, and of course, stable and affordable energy prices in Europe. In conclusion, Spain is fully committed to accelerating renewable hydrogen competency and ultimately with the energy and ecological transition. The public sector has the opportunity and responsibility to accompany the private sector in this pursuit. We are creating, therefore, a good ecosystem to support private investments and identifying the locations where renewable hydrogen will be produced massively. Therefore, we all must create a common front to overcome the barriers and to work in a regulation that allows us to develop the sector as quickly as possible as a response to the national ambition and the REPower EU objective. Thank you very much.